manifestation and science. In this video, you will get the knowledge you need to master the skill of manifestation and finally change your life. Now, what is manifestation? Manifestation is basically aligning who you are with what you want. That means becoming the cause of the effect you want. If you want to make money and you're not making money, it's your fault. If you want to master certain skill like meditation, training, painting, and you are not doing it, that's your fault. That means you are the cause of the effect of not having that specific thing. So your brain lives in a human body that has necessities and missions, biological goals, and that body lives in a world that is pretty complex. So your brain basically has to do many complex stuff like socializing, attracting, reproducing, surviving, getting food, and doing stuff that is so complex that if you would do it in a manual way, it would consume enormous amounts of energy. So what the brain does is optimize energy consumption. How? Automating stuff. So automation reduces the energy spent. But how do you automate processes? Well, that's made by mapping actions to situations. Every situation that is familiar, the brain already has a set of actions that work. So if you see a cow, you know how to hunt a cow. If you see a friend, you already know how to act with that specific friend. But how does this look in depth? It means that you have a model of your friend, of your friend's personality. So you can predict what your friend will do, how he will react to you, what you say. In that way, you can design actions that are proper to get social validation and cooperation of the other members of the tribe. So, just to let things clear, your brain lives in a complex world and wants to spend the least amount of energy as possible. To do that, the brain automates processes, and that means mapping actions with situations. Actions with situations. That is, for example, creating a model in your brain of how your friend is, so you can design the proper actions quickly. But how does the brain actually map situations to actions to automate the processes? That's made through an operational framework. Now, your operational framework is made by raw data and information. Information here means conclusions taken from this raw data. For example, if someday you avoided talking to somebody because you are shy, or you talk to somebody but in such an awkward way that person took distance or something, then that's raw data. But the information is, okay, I am shy because this happened. So you have the raw data, the memory, and the interpretation. That's information. Now, the operational framework can be divided into two big groups, and that is your identity. That means who you are, who you think you are. This thing right here is all the information and raw data you have in your brain that tells you who you are and how should you act in every situation. And your environment. All the info you contain of your environment also determines your actions. Because if you think money is scarce, then you will struggle to start trying to make money because you think that chances of failure are high because money is scarce. But if you think money is abundant and easy to make, you believe it deeply, then your brain will try to find opportunities all around. And when you find one opportunity, you will work really hard because you know that money is possible and maybe easy to make in that opportunity. So you will work really hard and you will probably make it because hard work brings results. Now, as we said earlier, the brain uses all this data to make predictions. predictions of events. And with those predictions, your brain designs actions that increases chances of success. For example, suppose you want to get social validation or cooperation from someone. Then, if you don't know that person, it's really difficult to try to get social validation or cooperation because you don't know how to act. So you get closer and you start talking like in a different way as you talk with your friends or family, so you can start getting information from that person. When you get enough information, you feel comfortable and you start acting relaxed. But that means you have enough information to design the proper actions to act. It's that simple. Now, this system acts all the time. And if you don't get aware of this system, it will control your life. You will look around, your brain will make predictions and design the actions, and that's it. Like, for example, if you consider that you are not a disciplined person, then you will act as an undisciplined person for the rest of your life if you never make it conscious. It's like Carl Jung said, make the unconscious conscious or it will control your life. It's that simple. You have to be aware of this system so you can change it. Now, that word I said is the most important thing here, awareness. Because awareness is the next step of this video. It's like being aware of your breath when you meditate. It's the same thing, but with this system. And how do you actually become aware of this system? By observing your thoughts. You have to realize that you are not your thoughts, and your thoughts are not real or fake. If a thought pops up in your mind and says, whoa, this guy is mad at me, or whoa, I'm shy, I cannot do that, or I'm a failure, I cannot build that business, or whatever, even the thought that tells you your name is not real or fake. It's just a thought. The thought just is. It exists. Yes, it exists, but it's not true or false. You just make it true or false inside your mind and act in a different way, so then the reality shows that that thought is true or false in your mind. So if you think you're shy, the reality will show you that, for example, you don't have many friends, or you try to have social interactions, but those social interactions are awkward, or whatever. If you think you're a failure and you are undisciplined, you will try businesses and those businesses will fail, so you will not have any money. So when you become aware that your results are not the ones you want, that means your actions are wrong, so your predictions are wrong, so your operational framework is wrong. That is what you think of yourself and what you think of your environment. So you have to change these two. How? With raw data and information. Basically, information means thoughts. If a thought pops up in your mind and says you are shy or you are a failure because this happened, and you start remembering things that happened in the past, and you start getting worried and feeling ashamed, oh, whoa, I did this, I made this, people saw me doing this, then you are reinforcing the old thought. That means the old identity. But now, my friend, you want to change that identity and become a new person, a brand new person. Like, you can do it. You can put a new person inside the same body, and that's a completely different person. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter, because people will think you are the old guy or the old person because they have a model of you, so they can predict your actions and design theirs. But that model will be old when you change. So you will change, and you will change your actions, and you will change your results. How? By being aware of your thoughts. So you have to be aware of your thoughts. Every time your mind says who you are, question it and ask yourself, do I really want to be that because I can change it? That's not real. That's not real or fake. That's just a thought. Just change it. Just believe you are the kind of person you want to be. You want to be least disciplined, then you are. It's that simple. You are disciplined. That's it. I mean, that's it. Just pause the video and go do something. Just go do something productive. Just go do something you want to do, because now you are disciplined. You believe you are disciplined, and this is like manual mode. Because remember, this is an automation system. But now we are in the manual mode. So you will have to be aware of your thoughts and of your mind and of your predictions for a little bit of a time, for a period of time, until that becomes automatic because the raw data and information becomes adjusted. That means raw data, for example, suppose you think you are undisciplined, but now you decide you're not undisciplined. Now you decide that you are a disciplined person, so you will act like a disciplined person for the next few hours. So the next few hours you will do something like reading, working, going to the gym or whatever, and that activity will be a memory. So your brain will store that memory as raw data, and there will be a new information. I am disciplined. When you do that for a long time, your model gets adjusted and it's automatic. So automation is super useful, but you have to be aware of the system so you can change your life. But the number one skill you want to master here is awareness. So let's practice, let's get to work. We have to be aware of our thoughts.